we haven't talked to you since the opening week win.
Leroy, I'm mad at you. Don't say nothing to me about fantasy. I don't want to hear it.
Oh,
I don't want to hear it.
Ty, I just have a question.
Nope, I don't have an answer.
Question.
Don't have an answer.
Why you dress like Craig's uncle next Friday?
Because I'm your Uncle Elroy. I don't care how you get it, mine.
He said, I got Versace.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
Versace.
This is Versace, baby.
You should smell it in here, Leroy. Yeah. He used half a bottle of Versace before he walked in the studio.
This cologne I got on is Bond number 9, Lafayette Street.
I got the Versace on today.
Kevin Versace.
Leroy, as a guy who used to beat up guys that tried to tackle you, you were a big bruising back. You must be. You must really appreciate a guy like Nick Chubb. This guy never goes down on the first tackle ever, and he always falls forward. Always. It's amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, you hear me talk about the Browns, and I will say this every week. I don't care who your quarterback is. Your identity is running the football. And whatever you do, I don't care if Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback, Tom Brady is your quarterback, it don't matter. It's starting with Nick Chubb. And that's just, look, sometimes you end up falling into the type of team you're going to be. Sometimes you end up falling into your identity. Accept it. Accept it.
Yeah, keep doing it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care who the quarterback is. We tend to make things so much about, and the quarterback is an important position. I'm not denying that. Okay? But sometimes guys get quarterbacks that have success, and they start going away from their identity because the quarterback is having success. And then when you get in those crunch times, when you get in pressure situations, you have nothing to fall back on. So when I talk about this season and how this season is going to play out with Jacoby Brissett, be who you are and who you've been. And that should be able to carry you because you are excellent, not good, excellent at running the football and playing defense.
What you got to say about Dearness Johnson being a healthy scratch?
Look, it's gonna be one of those situations where it's not because he's not talented, but there's gonna be 5 or 6 guys on your team that are gonna rotate with that depending on who you play. And that's just the way it is. Sometimes it's a DB, sometimes it's, and you have to understand that those guys who play special teams are going to be the guys that going to seem to be active every week, even they don't play a lick of offense or defense. So a lot of it goes into that. But he is the third running back. And when you got a healthy Nick Chubb, you have a healthy Kareem Hunt, and you basically do one back, but now they're starting to use them both, right? Kind of that West Coast look with the 2 backs in the backfield. It's going to shorten his opportunities to be able to play. That's just how it is with, maybe 5 or 6 guys on every football team.
By the way, I think the rule's stupid, guys. I think all 53 should be allowed to play. And if one team has some injured guys, and bring up guys from the practice squad. It seems dumb. It's such a brutal sport. Like, why not let all 53 be eligible?
Here's the other thing. You paying them anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let them play.
You paying them anyway. It would really suck that you have, say, a quarterback that you drafted high, and he's not ready yet, so he's the third guy. And the 2 guys get hurt, and you got your first or second rounder holding the clipboard and can't play.
Right, it's dumb.
Right? That's why you make those – right. It happens a lot. It happens more than you think. Because when guys
what's
get
the
hurt –
rationale behind it, Leroy? Like, why is that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I can't think of any good reason why they couldn't have 53 guys play.
Think about this. Here's even what's more incredible. They've expanded the roster in every other way.
Right.
You can have more practice squad guys.
Yep.
You can have more guys in camp. You can have. Why would you do all that knowing the injuries that take place and still keep the 46-man game day roster?
And Leroy,
it makes no sense.
One of the things that is most surprising to me is at some point this becomes a safety issue. Because if a player knows that he's got nobody behind him to come in and spell him, he's more likely to stay out there because the team needs him. And then you're likely to go ahead and injure yourself even more than you already are.
No, I ain't down. I ain't down with that.
You don't think guys that are already hurt that keep playing can't get more hurt?
I played every game to not come out. If you want me out, you better call me because I ain't just coming out.
No, that's my point, Leroy. But that's my point.
But it ain't got nothing to do. It ain't got nothing to do with who's available.
Well, but let's just use it as an example. And this doesn't work in this scenario because you have one kicker. But the other night, Kansas City's kicker had a bad ankle. And
did you see the safety? He could kick.
Justin Reed.
Yeah, I know. It was unbelievable. I actually wanted to see him kick in a game. But what was crazy was Butker came in there and kicked like a 55-yarder with a one-step approach.
Did he?
Yep.
One step. And so my point here is, and the kicker's a bad example. He's not going to come out. I'm the only guy that can kick the football. But he's doing it on a bad ankle. What if he, on a one-step approach where now you're changing everything for a kicker, what if he rolls his ankles, got a high ankle sprain, and he's out for 8 weeks? Again, not a good example because you don't have a backup kicker on the roster. But if you have...
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
You do, but you don't.
Everybody got somebody that you could get by with a couple of kicks.
Right, you do, but let's face it. I've seen teams say, screw it. I'm not letting the defensive end kick extra points. We're going to go for 2 every time.
Right.
That's true. My point is, Leroy, I just think
it
it could be a safety issue down the line if a team, and I know players never ever want to come out, and I know you never wanted to come out, but if there's a player that's playing a position and he knows there is no next man up, I gotta go. And then further injures himself. To me, I would think that the players union would say, we're 53 guys on the team, 53 guys are eligible to play. It's just dumb.
I think that they should do that, but as far as the injury thing, you're just playing football. Yeah. You ain't thinking about that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
injuries happen.
There's certain positions, I don't care what happened, you ain't coming out anyway.
That's a fact.
Right.
So, Leroy, we see guys that do come out all the time. It happens all the time. Guys come out of the game for injuries.
Well, you know what? Nick Chubb comes out of the game. You know why? Because Kareem Hunt is behind him.
Speaking of that, let's get to that. Let's get to, you said West Coast. You said when they got the West Coast thing going with 2 backs, I saw your face.
Yep.
You smiled a little bit. You felt like
with Rathman and Roger Craig.
Roger Craig, split backs. How'd you like how Stefanski used Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and what kind of wrinkles was you thinking about when you saw that game?
Think about this. You have probably 2 of the most unique backs in the league in that they both can carry the ball, they both can go out on pass routes, and they both can pass protect. Okay? So when you put those 2 guys in the backfield, they have no idea which way you're going to go. You would like to think, oh, they going with Nick Chubb. That's their horse. And then Kareem Hunt get the ball. You see what I'm saying? They fake it to Kareem Hunt and Chubb goes in the flat. They fake it to Chubb and Kareem goes in the flat and runs a little ISO route or something along those lines. So from that standpoint, it just expands, especially, again, think about this. Think about where your start point is. Your start point is running the football to give Jacoby Brissett as much space as possible to make plays. And when you do that, now you standing 2 backs in the backfield and the defense has no idea which way you're going to go. I mean, you saw Ty break it down, right? Throw another back in the game and watch all hell break loose. He's going to be like, danger! They're going to know what to do.
He sound like mystical. Danger!
Right. No, but here's the deal. And to Tyvis's point about how they do things, for an offense, we have checks too. So our routes adjust based on single safety or double safety. Our routes on the outside adjust versus single safety or double safety. And so you got this game being played. And here's the thing. Here's what's so funny about defense. Because I heard Tyvis breaking that down. I heard him breaking it down. He said, you ride them until 10 yards. And I'm thinking, that's if the receiver run the right damn route. Because you know some receivers, as soon as they get a defender in their face, they break their route short. So it would suck to have a coverage breakdown because the receiver ran the wrong route.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's why I just said they gonna fix that. If it ain't right now, don't even worry about it.
Right. And not for nothing. But let's be clear. And you know, I always have this thing about defenders because they doing all that comical stuff back there. They got signals, they waving. If a guy moved, they panicking. They going crazy.
Leroy, it ain't nothing. Listen, it's easy when you line up, but when them pieces get to moving, oh, it's a panic. Oh my goodness, what I got.
But here's the deal. From the offensive perspective, you go in motion and you look across the field and you see all them gyrations and all you doing is going to the other side and blocking. And you just laugh. You just laugh. They done changed their whole defense, and we got a run play going away. Right?
Yeah.
All we tried to see is if it's man coverage or not. That's it. You do a little motion, see what's happening, and then go about your day.
Yeah.
And y'all, oh my goodness. So, you know, I would say this. There's a lot of breakdowns in coverage. And it's simply for the things that Tyvis was talking about. They have so many rules, and the coaches will emphasize, how many yards? How many yards before you break this up? 10, coach. All right. And they sticklers on that. But football is a flowing thing. It's adjustments being made. Guess what? If it's 3rd and 7, you might cut that off at 8. If it's 3rd and 12, you might go that same route at 13 yards. We got rules too. I know you guys watching games, you hate when a receiver catch a ball. It's 3rd and 10 and he catch a 9-yard pass. You want to go out there and kick him in the butt.
Drive you nuts.
So there's adjustments to the same plays just because of football, and their rules are thrown all off because we play football.
Yep.
So it happens a lot. It happens because we don't know that one extra step that changes the coverage. We just know we trying to pick up a first. We trying to find an open spot. We trying to just, move the ball down the field. And they're the stickler to these rules. It happens a lot. Now, here's the problem. As an offense, we're looking at a certain side of the ball. You are reading a certain man for coverage. So if he breaks that coverage and you looking at him, you could have a guy on the other side of the field running by himself and the quarterback not even looking that way. And so we look at the quarterback and say, why he hit that open receiver? Because he ain't looking over there. So it works both ways. Yeah. And it's amazing. And when you watch a football game and you watch all these moving pieces, it is actually amazing that football can be played with all the things that could go wrong. And that's why when you get a chance, when Jacoby gets that chance to hit an open guy, you got to hit him.
You better hit him.
You have to.
Leroy,
you got to hit him for this reason. Because it will take that defense when they go to the sideline and they will change everything they do.
Amen.
Am I lying, Tyvis?
No, you are 100%
Am I lying?
That's true.
You're right. And Leroy, to that point, obviously you're playing the Jets this week. The big talk in the offseason was the Browns wide receivers, right? There was a lot of concern about the wide receivers. Amari Cooper was open a number of times. Jacoby couldn't get him the ball. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I thought, had a nice game. Schwartz had that early drop, but he made a big catch on that final drive. Heading into the second game against the Jets defense that didn't play well. We don't expect it to be good. I know we want to be run first. I'm with you, especially with I know you say quarterback doesn't matter. I'm definitely with you with Jacoby, 100%. I get what you're saying. That's their personality, yes. But Jacoby's got to hit those guys when they're open, right? He's got to make those plays.
You're right. That is something you don't want to catch up to you. You got to show the league and you got to show all these teams that if you slip and if you pay too much attention to the run, that we can beat you over the top. That's something that you have to make a point of getting through. And whether that means first play of the game, play action over the top. You got to let them know it's going to be one of those type of games where you're going to be guessing what we're going to do. Now, if you're having success running the ball, who cares, right?
Sure.
But here's the deal. I think that Jacoby's eyes need to be looking at the right area of the field at all times. Because there was a couple of times where he identified the open receiver, but it made the throw much tougher because he was late. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And what happens is say if you have a guy deep down the field and you see that safety coming across because you took too long to get to it because you got some backside action, what Tyvis was talking about, right? That safety roll up on the safety on the Browns rolled up to the wrong side, and that tight end was going across the field, going up the field. If you wait and somebody has speed to catch up, then you feel you got to rush the throw. And what happens is the throw ends up sometimes being errant because he's trying to throw it too hard. He's not just putting it in the breadbasket and just throwing a little teardrop. He got to rifle it because he waited too long. So I just want to know, when they watch film, is that one of the things that they have to kind of pay attention to? I don't know if that's the case, but to me, and we've all seen it, those open throws came a little bit late.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's why maybe they were off a little bit, because he waited so long he felt like he had to rush it.
What'd you make of David Njoku's production?
Look, I think as time goes on, he is going to be a more pivotal part of the offense.
We've heard that a lot.
Just with his ability and what he does and how he, is able to kind of control the middle of the field. I think that one of the reasons why Amari Cooper and Schwartz and Donovan Peoples-Jones was open was because a lot of times they were afraid to leave the middle of the field open.
And that's Njoku's face.
And so, right, you have to look at the big picture. See, we can all go back and look at, well, why didn't so-so have more catches? Why didn't so-so have more catches? Well, one, because you were controlling the line of scrimmage and you didn't have to throw it that much. But two, one of the reasons why Njoku didn't have that many targets was because the ball was going outside.
Right.
Now, if you complete those passes, you complete those two passes, we're having a totally different conversation.
You aren't kidding.
So instead of harping on who's catching what, let's get those passes completed. And we're having a whole different conversation.
And how do you do that?
You
So
take
what's
those
going
two
on over there
passes,
this
you
week?
add another 70 yards to that. Now you're talking about, 230, 240 yards with 200 yards rushing. You had yourself a day offensively.
So what are they doing
So
to fix
I don't want to be. I'm going to be real hesitant in making two plays a determining factor of how people played.
How many times would you have Jacoby Brissett throw the ball this week?
I think his sweet spot is 20 to 25 times.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right? You thinking you're gonna have, and here's what throws it off a little bit. They had so many plays, like they could try everything. Hey, We ran that play earlier. They tried the other one. Like, they just had so many plays. The time of possession, everything was in their favor. But if you can run the football, and then here's the thing, Jacoby Brissett, I think he'll be better off with the play action and not having to just drop back and read a field.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Give a little play fake, give you a little rollout, a 3/4 rollout. You're only reading one side of the field, right? You got a backside, and then you got the front side, and you work in the zones, short, medium, and deep, and you go from there. He can make those throws.
Leroy, is it?
But here's the deal. You got to be able to look, when they give you an opportunity for a big play, because here's what sucks when you're a fan of a football team. Doesn't it always seem like the other team don't miss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always seems like when you mess up a coverage, they don't miss.
Baker didn't miss.
So, and so I'm like, wow, we had some plays like that too when they busted the coverage and the ball was rolling on the turf. So they'll get better at that. Better at that.
Leroy, is there anything that the Jets have on there offensively or defensively that you see as an issue that can cause issues for the Browns?
Offensively, they got some decent receivers. Okay, they really do. But you got questions about the quarterback, whether he can get it to him. So that's always going to be an issue. They're going to try to run the ball too. And I'm going to tell you what I would do. I don't care what team that I play for. If I'm facing Jadeveon Clowney, and I'm facing Myles Garrett, basically what I would do is this. I'm going to run the ball up the middle. I'm going to double team one of your D tackles. And I'm going to see if they're going to keep trying to rush the passer. And I'm going to put pressure on them that way. You have to do it. You have to make Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney look up and not just know it's a pass play. Now, what changes that is when you stuff that run on first down, and now you're in second and third and long, now the table's set. The table's set. You'd already put yourself in that situation. So they're going to try to do whatever they can to avoid being in a passing situation. Also, don't be shocked if it's 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 6, and instead of throwing it, they just run a little draw.
Why
They
not?
just run the football.
I mean, they had two
Don't
backs.
be shocked.
They had two backs
Right.
Sunday that averaged almost. I mean, Hunt was almost 5 yards a carry.
That's right.
And Chubb was well
6
over.
Speaking of two backs.
Well, I'm talking about the Jets.
Look at
I'm
that.
talking
Leroy,
about the Jets.
we got to make you a two-back interview right here. Speaking of two backs.
Robert Smith, come on in, man.
Hey,
There he
what's
is.
up, everyone?
Now it's a party.
What's up?
What's going on, man? A lot of excitement
I think
with Miami, right?
Yeah, I think we did do a little two back. We did a little bit.
Yeah, we
wasn't-
didn't do a whole lot of it, but man, I was
I did a little bit
impressed.
just to kind of keep them honest.
Yeah,
But I would say,
yeah.
I would look back at Robert and I say, hey, don't expect nothing great, big fella.
Hey, realistic expectations on what this block is going to look like, right? And you got, hey, there are those road graders, and there are those guys that, hey, like the quarterback, I'm just going to get in this guy's way. You handle the rest, partner.
Yeah. Hey, you think a collision with the football was bad? Try being a lead blocker at 220 pounds against a guy that's 260.
Yeah.
You just add. I'm just like, oh, and then the coach will come to you and say, hey, we gonna run this lead play. We just keeping them honest. I say ain't nothing honest about me running up in there. But yeah, we did it a couple of times. We did
We had some third down stuff. Now, David Palmer was our normal third down guy, but we had some packages sometimes where we would be in there on third downs together too.
Hey, Robert, let me just grab it for a second. When Cade York goes to switch ahead to the last week's game, when Cade York goes to kick that field goal, with the whole history of the Browns in Week 1, were you thinking he was going to miss that kick?
Here's the like everything that led up to it too, right?
Yeah.
Like, all the mistakes. There's like penalties and just everything going on. And of course, Baker, goes down and they're able to get that field goal. I mean, it seemed like absolute. There was no chance he was going to make that, and that's encouraging.
How about hitting the net? Hitting the net from 58.
Halfway
It
up.
just barely crossed.
I mean, but that's I don't want to say one. You never say that one game is a trend, right? But that's it's the first opening game or opening weekend win since 2004 or 2005.
Yeah.
And the way everything was shaping up in that game, I just know Browns fans everywhere were just like, well, of course, this is the way it's supposed to happen. So as much as and you're right, Leroy, like all those times you say, wait a minute, why does the opposing team never miss that open wide receiver? Like, why do they never miss those kicks? Well, the kick went through, and Cade York, I know there's been a lot of talk and celebration about the young man. I'm glad that he was able to come through in a big moment like that.
And you guys got to know that me and Robert are scarred by kickers.
Oh yeah.
Was it 98 or when Anderson missed?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Y'all's team was cold back then. Y'all had
They were good. We all thought they were going to the Super Bowl.
Jake Reed, Randy Moss.
I think they were
Hey,
you guys were 15-1, I think, that year in the regular season.
Yeah.
But the Falcons were
making
good.
plans.
The Falcons were good team.
They were a good team, but
You had the plans ready?
they had a kicker that makes
Well,
kicks.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Gary had been, I think he was 37 for 37. He didn't miss one kick all year long. All
I
year
know.
long.
Yep.
Well, it was a 37 yarder.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's even worse.
That's a chippy for him.
We were up 27-20 at the time, and they have the cannons that go off when the field goals get made, and the damn cannon went off. It looked like they made it.
Premature celebration.
Hey, get him on the Zoom too. Get that kicker on the Zoom.
We get into the locker room. We get in the locker room. They're like banners, like congratulations, and
Oh my goodness.
they cut stuff down.
Hey, I played. How about this? You want to hear something crazy? I played in every NFL stadium except one.
dang.
That year, the Super Bowl was in Miami, and I never played in Miami.
That's the only one you never
I could
played
see
in?
No, I can see the fireworks from my house. So
Brutal.
I'm like, why? It's like I'm getting cursed.
That's hurt. Now,
That's the word. Man.
Now you're here with us.
you know what? We talked about the kicking, right? So we talked about the kicker. Go through the emotions of seeing Baker Mayfield put 17 up, like in that fourth quarter, because I was starting to get sick too. I was on the post game, and I'm looking around like, nah, this can't be it.
Can't happen.
This can't happen, bro. We can't do this.
You
man.
actually turned into a white dude.
I did. She touched
I
my
was like,
face.
man, he's got no color right now.
But I keep saying this. That if you were that confident in Baker making those plays, he would still be a Brown. Why? Like, at some point, Baker gonna be Baker.
Yeah. It was just.
That's why he's not
early.
a Brown. That's why you look for a different quarterback. So, was I nervous? Yeah, because the worst thing. Look, the same thing happened to us in '98. We came out the second half, and what'd you say? The only thing we can't do is give up a big play. And I'll be damned as soon as that happened, 70 yards down the field.
Got him.
Right? So when it got to that crunch time for the Browns Sunday, I say, well, as long as they don't make give up a big play, we good, because it's taking them forever to move the ball.
Yep.
And lo and behold, 75 yards. I'm going to quit saying that. I'm not saying that no more. As long as. Nope, not saying it.
The hex is off, Leroy.
Honest opinion, though. Honest opinion. What did you think? What did you think of that roughing penalty?
Ooh. It was kind of.
It was hell. I've said this 10 times already. Look at the replay. It was helmet to helmet.
No, it wasn't.
Go look at the replay.
You're right. It was helmet to helmet. It wasn't forcible helmet to helmet. And
Yes,
they've said
that's the difference.
The officials have said this season that there's going to be an emphasis, and they're going to try and eliminate those roughing the passer penalties. And that was it was helmet to helmet in the technical sense. Like, I think their face
They touched.
might have touched.
Who is the referee? Tim Donahue?
I'm glad those refs.
Hey,
waited
listen,
a week.
I thought the roughing the passer earlier in the game on the Browns was a worse call.
That was. I thought so too.
Oh, you're talking about it was in the back of the was Brian?
Right.
Yeah.
Brian.
Like, how's he supposed to, in
What's he
midair,
supposed to
not
do?
let all of his body weight land on the quarterback?
Yeah, but honestly, I don't buy it. Man, defensive lineman is agile.
He said, I don't buy
These
it.
guys jump through hoops. They do all types of matrix stuff. Don't tell me you
Says
can't.
one of the greatest athletes in the
Don't
world.
tell me you can't hit the quarterback. He knows the ball's gone. Okay, he knows the ball's gone. We had a couple of these in the. I called the Commanders and Jaguars the other day. We had a couple of these in the game where quarterback gets rid of the ball. They come in, they hit him after the play. That's fine. They're going to give you a couple steps. You can hit him. You know damn well he doesn't have the ball anymore. Don't put your weight on him. That's really not that hard to do.
Not if you're the Matrix. Hey, Leroy, we got to let you go, man. We will talk to you
right.
again next week, bro. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Leroy.
We'll see you
All
next
right.
week.
Thank
Go
you.
Bucks.
I hope you lose your fantasy match.
Go
Wherever
Bucks.
you play.
Hey, Tyvis. Hey, you didn't win in fantasy football. You can't wear that shirt. Robert, don't he looked like Craig Uncle.
Get the camera
You
off
can't
me.
wear that shirt.
Hey,
By the
You
way,
can't wear that shirt.
Camera off me.
Leroy,
You need to
Hey,
wear a
that's that-
white T-shirt.
yeah.
That's when what's the son in the Cosby Show made that Gordon Goutreau shirt or whatever that was.
Theo Huxtable.
Remember he-
Yeah.
he made that. We got to look that somebody's
what?
got to look that shirt up from that show.
You know what the